What's up, YouTube? Just want to say welcome back. And if you're new here and you like fan of videos, make sure you hit that button and the subscribe button. And let's get into today's video. Today we'll be talking about a what if scenario in the Harry Potter universe. So this what if scenario is going to be, what if the Weasleys never won the prize money from the Ministry of Magic in order to take their trip to Egypt? Because think about it, if they never went to the trip to Egypt, their faces wouldn't have been in paper. Sirius never would have got a paper in Azkaban. Seen Peter Pettigrew in that photo, escaped from Azkaban, gone to Hogwarts, and I just want to think about, like, how would the movie pan out? Sorry, not the movie. How would the books pan out if they never went there? Obviously, would Sirius escape from Azkaban? Would Peter Pettigrew return to the Dark Lord that same night? These are detrimental things to the story. If that never happened, just so happens that the Weasleys win the prize money. Seems kind of odd. And there's a few more details in there that's a little iffy. But let's get into it and let's discuss what would happen if the Weasleys never won the prize money. So, before we truly get into it, I just need to discuss one thing. The fact that the Weasleys took their prize money in order to go to Egypt in the original story is a little weird. Okay, yeah, they want to visit your kids in Egypt and you want to take the whole family along. Okay, cool, yeah, that's great. Prize money was able to do it. But to be honest, the only reason that they had the picture in the paper was because of the prize money. They could have gone to Egypt without the prize money. Just saying. I'll get to that in a second. So I feel like somebody had to work that out so that they could go to Egypt. Somebody that behind the scenes or just it's weird because if you recall in the second book during the holidays, who stays behind with Harry? Ron, George, Fred, and Percy. And what did they say? They said, oh, well, we decided to stay behind. We were invited to go with our parents to Egypt to visit Bill, but we decided not to. So they had a chance to go to Egypt the previous year and could afford it for the whole family to go to Egypt to visit Bill, but they decided not to. Oh, I forgot about Ginny. Yeah, she was there too. Anyway, they decided not to go. They opted out of the trip that the Weasleys could have paid for a year before. So why did they need the prize money? Yeah, I know the Weasleys are the poor, but why did they need the prize money if they could easily have gone to Egypt? I mean, it's not like us. They don't need a plane ticket. They don't need, to buy hotels. It's different than what I assume. I mean, I don't know how much you gotta pay for staying in a room leaking cauldron or not, but they don't need plane tickets. They don't have to, buy a travel package. And I'm sure Bill has a place that they can stay. So why did they need the prize money? That part doesn't make sense. So that whole section doesn't make sense anyway. But we get it in the book. Fine. they go to Egypt, they get a picture newspaper. Sirius Black sees Peter Pettigrew, escapes from Azkaban. He escapes from the don't mind me. He escaped from Azkaban prison to hunt down Peter Pettigrew because Peter Pettigrew obviously, you know, betrayed Harry's parents. Now besides all that, besides the fact that Weasley's could have gone no matter what, you know, and if they could have, hold on, here's another thought. I'm going to backtrack a little bit and go off a track, if you will. If they could have afforded, you know, that trip last year on the holidays to go to Egypt and had enough money, let's say, that they could have taken the whole family, but they decided not to, why couldn't they buy Ron a new wand? Just saying. Anyway, let's go with the thought that they don't go to Egypt. They just, you know, hang out. Harry ends up going there for the holidays, for the summertime at the end of the season, you know, because, no, it won't work out either. Anyway, forget that, because that would not go on with the story at all, because we need to catch another point. Because, obviously, let's just say, Weasleys don't win the prize money. They don't go to Egypt. No picture in the paper. So therefore, Sirius Black wouldn't escape. Somebody does escape, though, still, and that's Barty Crouch. So that's already taken care of. So we can use that if we need to. Anyway, Peter Pettigrew is safe. Not as sick as, you know, he was being scared that Sirius Black was going to break out of prison. But he still has to deal with Crookshanks, but we'll get to that later on. So in this original story, you know, Aunt Marge comes over. That still comes over. Harry still has the letter to Hogsmeade that he needs Uncle Durden to sign, and obviously Harry blows up Aunt Marge. Walks away, gets all pissed off, thinks he's going to be expelled from school. Whatever, walking on the street, obviously doesn't get scared by the dog, doesn't fall over. So what happens? Well, I feel like at some point, you know, he could get picked up by someone. Maybe Weasley gets a kind of hint that, you know, in the Ministry, magic was used, situation, you know, this would happen. So Weasley could probably step in, Dumbledore probably can get involved, and somehow I feel like maybe the Weasleys will get a chance to go pick up Harry, bring him to the cauldron, and then start the year. Because if you remember, he accidentally trips over by seeing Sirius as a dog, and that's what ignites the night bus. Now Harry could be just walking through and maybe, you know, get startled by something and, you know, happen to accidentally do the night bus by different means. Let's go with that. Let's say he accidentally calls the night bus shows up, he meets Stan Shumpike, because that's kind of important on the road. If he doesn't meet Stan Shumpike, not a big deal, you know, but he does recognize him later on in the story, as you know. But not important. So he goes to Diagon Alley, stays in the Leaky Cauldron, hangs out with Ron and Hermione, checks out the the firebolt like you normally would. Except that's gonna play a detrimental role in the future. That really sucks. Either way, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm sorry. I'm just a lot of stuff going through. Anyway, so Hermione gets Crookshanks. Crookshanks still doesn't like Scabbers because he's a rat, and Crookshanks is a cat. And as Sirius said, Crookshanks has a good judge of character. We see that right off the bat. Anyway, so we go to school. Obviously, Sirius Black is not escaped. Oh, sorry. Let me backtrack a second. So, obviously, Dumbledore took care of it. Harry doesn't get in trouble for blowing up his aunt. Mistakes happen. We get pissed off. It's understandable. It's Harry. He's not going to get expelled. And Hermione even brings up in the story, like, why don't you think you expelled? I was really waiting for you. And then Ron says, maybe because it's just you. You're Harry. I mean, come on. You're famous. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's Harry. You can't expel Harry Potter. Come on. Same concept. Anyway, so now we're on the train. Obviously, no Dementor comes on the train. Maybe so they still find Lupin sleeping in the cabin, so they're still hanging out there. So obviously the train ride, no Dementors this time. Lupin is still sleeping. It's just nice, calm train ride back to school. Everything is used, he's perfectly fine. I assume Lupin may wake up like a little towards the end when we get closer to the school, introduce himself and say, hey, yeah, I'm Professor Lupin. I'm gonna be a Defense Against Dark Arts teacher this year. Nice to meet you guys. We'll walk out together. And Lupin, sees Ron holding his rat. Doesn't say anything, just notices the rat. So moving forward, we go to obviously the sorting ceremony, which Harry actually gets a chance to see this year because he missed it by being in the hospital wing. Well, with Professor McGonagall, because he fainted. So Harry gets to see the sorting ceremony. Hermione does not, because Hermione is getting the time turner. So obviously, opening ceremony goes off as a hitch. New students arrive. Introduction of Professor Lupin to the whole school. It's great. Obviously, no talk about Dementors, and no, back talk from Malfoy. Putting his hood up and trying to, isn't true you fainted? No. Obviously, Malfoy's still a jerk and makes some kind of comment to them and about secondhand robes to Weasley. Normal stuff like that, but nothing too crazy. So, before I continue, let's get a quick word about our sponsor, Rep Sports. Rep Sports is a dietary supplement company. They have all sorts of neat stuff. You can get little sweet packets of Hyper Sleep. You drink this before you go to bed. You wake up feeling refreshed and wide awake. It is fantastic. They also got cool little snacks. You can buy pancake mix, and what I like is Raze cakes. It is funfetti cake with 12 grams of protein, only 2 grams of sugar, and 180 calories. And you put it in the mug, microwave for 30 seconds with some milk or water, your preference, and it's done within 60 seconds. It's great, fantastic, nice and fluffy, beautiful. And my other favorite is, of course, the energy drink called Raze, and these have 0 sugars, 0 calories, 0 dyes, full of vitamins, and totally great. Definitely recommend going to repsports.com. That's REPP sports.com. Use coupon code JohnnyHooey and save yourself 15% off. Let's get back to the video. So pretty much the school year goes off without a hitch. There's no worry about Sirius Black coming back. Ron and Hermione still argue about Crookshanks, attacking Scabbers. Hermione's still a little overloaded with work because she has a time turner and she's taking 12 courses. Lupin obviously is still a werewolf, so there's still him missing classes. Then you come in, make him do the werewolf page. Make sure you turn to page 394. Never forget that one. So a few, things just kind of go off. perfectly as planned. A few things, we have to address that, are kind of, have to stay the same. Um, Obviously, Draco's still a jerk, and confronts Buckbeak like, I got this. You don't scare me. If Potter could do it, I can do it. And of course, Buckbeak still slashes his arm, which then causes Buckbeak to go on trial, and also causes the Slytherins to have to postpone the first game against them, which then causes Harry to play against Cedric in the first game of Quidditch. But this time around, I feel like Harry would win because there's no crazy storm, cold weather from the Dementors, and I think Harry is a much better player, so therefore Harry catches the snitch and does beat Cedric. Just saying. So, obviously that, comes into play later on. So, most of the year goes off without a hitch. There's no worries. It seems like the perfect, school year. No threats from Voldemort. It's like weird. No life-threatening things that the trio has to worry about. All they can discuss is, Hermione brings up when they have time together, when she's not overloaded work, about, what she knows to Lupin maybe. And they try to discuss it, but, she doesn't give away too much detail because, they don't see a lot of her because she's overloaded with work. So all the time that free time, she's up there doing work in the common room, and so the trio doesn't really get the chance to hang out with each other a lot more. Ron and Harry are hanging out a lot more, and also Ron and Hermione are still bickering, obviously. So now we get to the point towards the end of the story when things really need to take place. So obviously, the same thing happens where Ron finds the blood of Scabbers, thinks Crookshanks ate him. Snap. Ron and Harry and Hermione are helping Hagrid with the trial. They get the bad news from Hagrid, so they go down to the cabin to try to confront him and console him. And that's when we find that Scabbers is down there. So obviously they hang out with Hagrid and this and that. And this is when they need to exit because Buckbeak is going to be killed. So as they're leaving Hagrid's and they're going back up to his school, this is where it's kind of weird because this is normally where Sirius attacks Ron and pulls him into Whomping Willow and the whole thing takes place. But one key thing I almost forgot is that Lupin still has the map that he took from Harry. Not because, in the original story he says, could you imagine this map in the hands of Sirius Black? Obviously Sirius Black's not in the picture at the moment, so he just says, it's his map. He helped create it, so he's just like, I can't let Harry have this. I mean, I'm sorry, but let's say Lupin takes it anyway. Lupin. Now it's stated. The movies kind of ruined it on me. With the whole Harry seeing Pettigrew on the map. No, it is stated that the Marauders don't appear on the map. Only Marauders can see Marauders. They did something there on the map so they could, do it that way. You can't see them on the map. So therefore, Harry should be able to see Sirius Black roaming around the grounds. His name would have popped up. Only Peter Pettigrew's name popped up. They never showed Lupin's name on the map. Obviously, he's a professor, and it might be different with that. But Marauders can't show up on the map. Only Marauders can see Marauders. So, in the books, only Lupin sees Peter Pettigrew's name on the map. And that's when he goes down, he sees Sirius Black, on the map. So that's when he goes down there. and confronts him more below. Obviously, that doesn't happen, but he still has the map out. It's just a little later than normal. He sees him walking for the castle, and he sees the name Ron, Harry, Hermione, Peter Pettigrew, and he's thinking to himself, I know Peter Pettigrew to be dead. That's why Sirius is in prison right now. So he rushes down there and confronts them. And this is where things can take a little bit of a turn. We can go either way about this. We can either say that Pettigrew sees Lupin and feels a threat and somehow escapes or whatever, but let's just go with the story because we'll get there. So Lupin doesn't really, say anything to like, hey, warn the situation. He says, hey, I want you guys to come to the office with me. I want to show you something. So we go back up to the office, and when they get to the office, that's when Snape arrives. Snape walks in with the Wolfsbane, and now Snape is concerned about why your students in the classroom, it's getting late, you should be drinking this because the full moon is coming. And Snape doesn't care. Snape just flat out goes, the full moon's coming, you're going to be turning into a werewolf soon. And Harry, Hermione, and Ron are like, huh? Hermione's like, I know it. Yeah, I figured after, Snape has to do the essay, that's when I figured it out. And so they have a little banter about that. I'm not going into full detail, but Lupin says to Snape, hold on a minute. I need you to be here for this. And, the trio is like kind of shocked. And Lupin says, Sirius, lock the door. And Sirius is like, I don't want to be here when you change. He goes, no, you don't understand. Do you know what this is? And Sirius goes, yeah, this is the parchment that, I used to see you guys walking out all the time. I don't know if you saw it. I don't know. Maybe. Either way, Lupin says, there's proof on here. I know you don't like him too much, but there's proof on this map. And in this room right now, that would make Sirius Black innocent. Sirius is, doesn't like Sirius Black, obviously, but he's a little concerned about what this information is. And he says, Sirius, he says, Snape, lock the door. Now, Scabbers is not the brightest crayon or rat in the box, but he's smart enough to like, okay, Lupin towing the map, talking to Snape, locking the door, I'm screwed. So Scabbers is flipping out, screaming on, biting Ron, squirms out. Lupin shoots a freezing charm at Scabbers. Scabbers freezes. He does that spell where he turns back from an animagus. And Snape is just shocked because Snape had no idea that they're animaguses. Nobody knew they were animaguses. So now Snape sees Peter Pettigrew, and the whole situation is explained. The fact that Peter betrayed Harry's parents, and that he framed Black for his own murder and ran away, got picked up by the Weasleys, missing a finger, everything. That whole situation gets explained in a different light because it's not the same kind of feeling. But either way, so they contact Dumbledore. Obviously, Dumbledore believes Lupin and Snape. And now here's where it can get two-sided. I can either go the route, no matter what, the story continues the same way at this point, in a sense. I can either have, either way, I can get away with it. It'd be a little trickier, but I could either have Pettigrew, you know, be captured and sent to Azkaban, or he probably could escape unless they tell him that he's in Vegas and figure something else out to trap him there, put him in a small cage, something. I don't know. But I just picture, you know, Scabbard just in a, well, Pettigrew in a tiny little cage. You know, obviously. Shut up! You know, can't transform, you know, because then, you know, could probably kill himself. Anyway. But if Pettigrew goes to jail or prison and doesn't return to Duckwood, the prophecy is still in place that Professor Charlie told Harry about the faithful servant return to Duckwood and Duckwood, you know, rises again tonight. That's still going to happen. And Peter Pettigrew's do it. There was still one other student out there who escaped from Azkaban, and that is Barty Crouch. He just might have to do it a little sooner in order to do the whole thing with the World Cup, and might have to do some different things with that, but that's just getting a little too complicated. So let's say Peter Pettigrew is locked up, finds a way to escape, and still runs off into the woods. Obviously, we have the proof. Let's say we need something here because we gotta have Sirius Black. We gotta. So in my story, in this, you know, what if scenario, they have Peter Pettigrew locked up. Snape is in there, like, with him, like, you know, if you move, I won't hesitate to kill you. You know, you were right there with James, Lupin, and Sirius, torturing me as a teenager. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the dumb-witted one in the group. You helped torture me, so I'm not hesitant to kill you. Anyway, Scabbard's probably like, I keep calling him Scabbards. Pettigrew is probably like shivering in a corner, you know, buck teeth and whatever. So now we have, you know, Dumbledore, you know, contacting Crouch, explains the whole, not Crouch, Fudge, explains the whole thing to him. Like, look, I have a situation here at the school. I need you to come by immediately. Fudge comes to school. Dumbledore sits down and says, look, I need you to release Sirius Black from prison. And Fudge is like, are you kidding me? He you know, killed all those muggles. He killed Pettigrew, only left him a finger. And Dumbledore's like, yo, take a step back. Listen to me. I have Peter Pettigrew. He's locked up in the room. Snape and Lupin are with him. I'd say Lupin with him because Snape is a little trigger happy, so just keep him contained. I said, I have two professors watching him. Pettigrew is alive. We gave him truth serum, and Pettigrew admitted that he betrayed the Potters. He became the secret keeper because Sirius trusted Pettigrew and made Pettigrew the secret keeper instead of him. And Sirius only confronted him because he betrayed the Potters. Sirius is going to bring him in, and that didn't happen, and Pettigrew faked his own death, left only his finger, cut his finger off, and then ran to the woods because he is an unregistered anime guy as a rat. That's all Dumbledore tells him. Doesn't tell him about Sirius being an anime guy. Doesn't tell him about Lupin, you know, because Dumbledore's cool like that, you know. Anyway, Fudge walks in there, sees Pettigrew. Goes to get, you know, the proper channels in order to escort him to, or bring, sorry, he wants to bring a Dementor in with him. So he gets Dementors to the school, and he's going to give Pettigrew the kiss. But at that moment, Pettigrew quickly figures out a plan to distract Lupin and Snape, turns back into Rat, and bolts out of the school as fast as possible. Crookshanks smells him on his tail, but sorry, can't catch up, and Pettigrew escapes into the woods. and returns back to Albania, where everything else happens as normal. And Sirius is released because even though they don't have Pettigrew, Fudge still knows for a fact. He's like, look, I don't want to keep a guy in prison who doesn't deserve it. We have to release him on all charges. And Sirius moves back to Grimmauld Place, but has not met Harry yet. So, with that being said, this video is going out longer than I thought. So, make sure to like button, hit the subscribe button, because you don't want to miss part 2 of this video. Yep, that's right, part 2. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. So, make sure you check part 2, which will be right here when it's released. And check out all my Harry Potter videos right down here. If you like other fandoms, I got Star Wars, I got Disney videos, I got One Piece videos, you name it, it's fandom. I do it. And make sure you check out my Patreon, link in the description down below, and check out my merch store down below. Thank you for next time, and